It's Sunday, it's 6 p.m. It's the Sunday Swinger Show. Let's get into it. So we're back here. It's Sunday. Let's run into it straight away. So to the right hand side of the screen, everything in green will be covering here on the show here on YouTube. And then as we move down through the show, the area in gold, we'll be doing that for our members at protraderslounge.com. So first we're going to run through a trade recap of last week's setups that we gave out for free. Then we're going to have a look at the assets that you've requested. We'll move on down to Trader R doing altcoin of the week, and he may throw in Bitcoin as well. And then we'll finish off by announcing the winner of last week's competition and also doing another competition for this week. So if you want to win another membership, be sure to stick around for that. So let's jump straight into the analysis and go from where we went last week. And yeah, let's do it. So one of the assets that we looked at last week and gave a trade setup on was CRO. So just to bring you back where we were, it was down in this range down here. And what we were looking for is here. This is 2 weeks we've been looking for this blue box. We got the first move, 10%. Go back and check last week's show. And then we came back down. We're looking for a move back into that blue box then to take off. So price came down into that blue box and then headed off. That's a total move of 50% to the upside. So we'll go back and check, where does this setup go from here? But first we'll cover everything else that we've been looking at. The next one is being Popcat. Again, we got our trade down here a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now at this stage, and it made a bounce of 91% to the upside, and it has since got a retrace. But the main target for this still lies up here. Now, multiple take profits have been done on this trade. We'll reassess it and see where it's gone since then. With Fartcoin, let's run through it. The first setup that we gave when we started this Sunday Swingers with Fartcoin was being back here with a 72% short position. We then flipped that into the next swing position where we came down looking for that previous range point of control at 19 cent. That has since got a 217% bounce to the upside. And then last week we were looking for that short as it came up into that area of resistance. So we came up, tapped the area of resistance twice, which we marked out last week. So you can see here, this was the area that we were marking out for the resistance up into that 425 and 382. And we also gave we had this little range building up pressure on last week's Sunday show, and we ended up getting a 34% move out of that. What I was stating last week is as soon as we break out of that, look for trades, and we got a real impulsive move to the upside, which brought us up to our overall high, to what we were looking for in terms of a swing. Now, since we got that high from last week, we also marked in on last week's Swingers show that we were looking for this previous range. We're working off this previous range. So as we started to impulse up here, which gave us the high of that move, in fairness, we came back up, retested it, and then we got the drop back down. So over at Pro Traders Lounge, many of the members are looking for their longs down here, as we were speaking about live in the Discord yesterday. So a nice 34% move. If you haven't taken profits on this short yet, you should. With that said, now let's look at what we are looking at next.
Pro Traders Lounge has launched a new platform dedicated to education. Welcome to Pro Traders Academy, where we transform beginners into professional traders.
What's up folks? Welcome to Pro Traders Academy. This is Trader R, and today we'll be covering fractals, and a good example today which is going to be on Bitcoin on the higher time frame.
At Pro Traders Academy, our mission is to accelerate your journey to becoming a pro trader.
How you all doing, guys? I'm the Dukes.
I'm H. Paul.
My name is Eunice.
My name is Imi.
My name is Michael.
My name is Netzochronos.
Patrick PC0813.
Welcome to
Pro Traders Academy.
Pro Traders Academy.
And welcome to Pro Traders Academy.
Our platform offers a comprehensive library of educational modules and exclusive access to proven trading strategies. With weekly education modules and multiple in-depth market analysis aimed at new traders, Pro Traders Academy is your one-stop shop for training education needs. Join us and start your journey to trading success today.
Okay, so let's start with Fartcoin. Okay. So I think these are, so we can see we got a bounce. We haven't really gave a back test on this yet. We've got a small back test, but another back test on this would be nice. Just checking some of our last levels. Okay. These levels are very valid at the minute. Okay. Look, nothing there. So what I'm looking at here is basically if we do come back out of that range, where could we look to, you know, hold price? So I still think this is important range, but if you haven't got into a long here, I'm looking at this as if we have no positions. For those that are in a swing long from the lows that we did put in, you know, 225%. If you haven't taken profit on this now, you need to stop trading. Take profits on trades. Don't be afraid to take profits on trades. And for anybody in a short position, from the highs, the swing high, you need to be also doing the same, taking profits. Okay. Key deviations on both sides. Nice resistance coming in here with these anchored VWAPs. That's a really nice area if it does start to make its way back up again. Because technically with this level, we've used we've used the high and low of that previous range already, so I wouldn't be too invested in using these levels again. You know, they've both hit. Okay. Okay. Let me get a bigger pull on the volume here. Okay, so we have clear resistance coming in here at on that golden pocket region. Okay. yeah. Let me see that 382 one more time. It's coming in that low volume pocket. And I'll check one more thing. So TR pocket run on the previous range, value area high and low, gives these nice deviation levels. Something to bear in mind. So they will be nice levels to look for a trade intraday or week. Down here into these zones. Reaction zone here. Reaction zone here. So they're external trades to this. You can delete that. Okay. Okay, so two things I'm seeing here. If the low is not in and it doesn't hold this, you know, I wouldn't be afraid of price, you know, doing something like this, coming down, putting in a new low, and then making its way back in. If that is the case, that's where I'd be looking for a trade set up to trade it back up again. Or if you want to be aggressive, you could trade it down here. But I would be careful because we are starting to shift the direction that we're moving. So for rejects here, you could look for a reclaim back into that 41 cent level. If we do get back in that 41 cent level, you know, that's probably a 50% bounce to the upside. If it starts to stop, or if it stops on its way, you're talking probably a 30% bounce, right? So that's option one. We get something like this. Option number two, if this holds in here and gets above that previous range point of control, I'd be looking for a trade, trading that up to that 382 for a first big take profit. But overall, an interesting level up, back up here at that big point of control of the whole move up, including this area of balance here. So real interesting place to look for a potential lower high. That could be really nice. But I don't want to get too bearish on this. At the end of the day, this is a healthy correction. It's a healthy level to look for a bounce as well. So either or with Fartcoin, either or come down, take the low, make our way back up, or do this. Because on a higher time frame, you know, I've got this idea that I'll show you now. I've got this idea that if we can get, if this can start to look like a head and shoulders, with this being the neckline, you have your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, and if this starts to get bearish and starts to pull back down here, while everybody else is starting to exit their positions, we're going to be looking for a deviation of that trend line, which we have levels down here from previous weeks, which is back down into that previous range where we could tap that point of control, or down into that previous range value area low, which would take out this low over here. So if we do start to print an inverse head and shoulders, don't get bearish. Hold on to those shorts. Don't get bearish. And we could get something really nice like this. So that would be the bearish case for it if we keep dropping. That we have a higher time frame plan of, you know, a fake out of an inverse head and shoulders. Not to give the full retracement back. Because if you look at the textbooks, they'll say that from the top of the head to the neckline, you look at that for your breakdown. That will bring you the whole way back down to where we started. So you will get a lot of people very bearish, and this has a lot of those retail traders that look at retail patterns all the time. So a move like this will be excellent, but we could still get that internal move that we're looking for to build up more of an area balance over here, you know, to give something like this. Let's get a fractal, give something like this to make it look symmetrical, you know, to spend a little bit more time up there. But we can reassess that. That's going to be, you know, another week. We can look at that next week, but we wanted to spend a little bit more time. So making our way back up from where we are right now makes sense, and we'll see how we get on with that lower high. So let's have a look one more time. Yeah, so coming back up in here again would make total sense. We're going to have weekly pivots up here. We're going to have a lot up here. So interesting times. And don't get bearish if it goes down the way. We do have really nice reactions onto the low. So that's Fartcoin. Now we'll look at this CAS USDT. Be sure, guys, to hit that notification bell as well. Be sure to hit the notification bell and stick around, because there's going to be another competition at the end by Trader R. Where you can win another free month of membership. So CAS USDT, look at this. Okay, this one's being requested big time, so it looks like it's after coming up distribution and now it's coming back down again. So we need to see where she's gonna stop. I thought it was that spot. Sorry, I want to see something a little bit different than that. A massive ledge. Where's all the volume on this coin? Oh, so the market makers were in here and in this exchange to push it. Ooh. And see, is there anything we can find? Okay. Wait a second. I must have done TA on this before and I can't remember. So we got that retracement back from the level I was obviously marking up here, and looking for that swift move down to an 886 at the time. 886 and a naked point of control. Okay, let's see, does that still make sense? It actually does. It actually does make sense. You have big volume stepping back in here where we have that previous analysis that I was doing, which I can't remember doing. Okay. Yeah, that's the first place the volume stepping in. All right, let's look at a TR extension. tapped it for that bounce. Swing failure, this low will be the first place to look for a reaction. Is that line up what I was looking for before? Yeah, thereabouts. I will pull it down here. Get rid of all that old analysis. What else do we have up here? Yeah, if it drops from there, being honest, if it drops from here right now, it's going to drop heavy. It's going to drop 80 odd %. We get a couple of bounces along the way. So what I would like to see from this, from what it looks like right now with this CAS USDT, getting a a bounce here and then coming back up for a lower high before further drop would be really nice, or at least to be able to gauge the strength up here. You know, if it starts to reclaim, we don't get a lower high and take out the high, well, that's the first sign of strength with this. But this thing looks weak as, really weak. Yeah, so a bounce here would be nice. Let's map that out then. What's that in terms of percentage? 150% to the upside. So leave it come down here, do what it has to do, and then look for a trade back up into this region where you would be taking profits and looking to scale out of it. You would be taking multiple profits along the way with that kind of like 100 and something %, 140%. If you don't get a reaction here, I wouldn't be, I'd be very careful here. Even another setup you could get with the same level is for it to lose it, get back above it, and when it gets back above it, take the trade. Q level. Not lining up there. Yeah, that's kind of the other setup I would look for. So it's too bearish to look for shorts, obviously. So we look for longs down here. When we start to see a sign of strength, either come down here, bounce, and as it starts to move away, jump into it. If you're good at scalping, scalp that low as it comes into the reaction zone. This reaction zone and zones and how they work is if you get a bounce, you look for the long. If it drops through it, no reaction, and gets back to it again, you look for shorts. That's how they work. So that's what I would look for on Fartcoin. Right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Trader R, and he's going to go through his all picks of the week. He's going to have a look at Bitcoin, and most importantly, he's going to announce last week's winner of the competition.
Hello. How are we all doing, folks? Hope we're all having a fantastic weekend. Again, bit of an update on the Sunday stream, huh? Sunday Swingers. We had a live stream on Friday, I think it was. Was it Friday or maybe Thursday? On Discord, not Discord, on Twitter, where I did a little public update. Make sure to be following along on those because it'd be doing them fairly randomly. But we went over Bitcoin and all that stuff, and a load of altcoins. I'm still kind of sick, but the voice is coming back, I think, so that's good. So look, we'll just go over. We'll do XRP, ETH, BTC, and all that. And at the end, I will announce the winner of last week's Guess the Price on Wednesday at 6 p.m. It was very close. I actually almost won it myself. I put in a guess as well, but I think I was like 400 off, so bet me by they were like 300 off or something. But yeah, we'll announce at the end, and whoever won it, they can just contact us, try and email us, or get through to us on Twitter. I'm gonna get that over to you. But let's get through all this stuff first, though. And as well, the new competition will be Guess the Price again on a Wednesday at 6 p.m. UTC. And you will also get the free membership. So get your guesses in. Don't be guessing on the day as well. I've seen a few people guessing on the day. You can't be doing that. Guess it today or tomorrow or the next day, but not on the day. That's cheating. That's unfair. And the people that guessed on the day still lost. So it was kind of funny, but still. Alright, look, we went over ETH the last day. We were hanging around in this area. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm looking for a bit of a bounce. Maybe get into this TR pocket and we get a bit of a reversal before we take the lows. Overall, our plan from the last Sunday stream was fairly spot on. It was fairly spot on. We were looking for this to top out in this area in the red box and come down. Overall, the target in this is to take the lows, but I think we get a bounce before we get that low. So I'd like us to get a bit of a bounce. So this plan is still the same. We're in the TR pocket now. We kind of got a bit of a swing fail, but we swing fail to swing fail right now. It's just seeing, is this going to hold up? There is nothing really here to help us, is there? Is there a trend line? Not really, no. Overall, I would love us to get a bit of a bounce into this range high before I get a sell-off. That would be kind of an area I might be looking for a short 4-hour sling, 6-hour sling. We did reject off the 12-hour, maybe back into the 12-hour sling. That would be ideal for me, to be honest. Whoa, kind of grinding on our own there, that little bit there. But overall, I'm not too keen on getting into a long. You know, this was kind of the best area of support she's going to have, and so far it is still the best area of support she's going to have. I need some kind of sign of strength here, right? 2 swing failures is not really enough for me. I kind of need some kind of movement. Be like, okay, you know what? I might take this long, but right now, I'm not too keen. I knew this trade was going to be really nice. You know, I knew this was going to be well waiting for. You know, even when it was down here, we took the long in PTL. So now I'm just kind of waiting to see. I don't really see this as a nice trade yet, so. But maybe if we take that overall low, I might take that trade. But right now, I'm going to wait for a bounce. We'll go on to XRP. Overall, looking for the lows on these. XRP. we were live on Friday looking at this on XRP. So, again, just wanting this to play a bit of the triangle and a fake out to the top side. That would be ideal on this. We were around here, I think, where we did the update. I want this to fall down, so still want this to come down a bit lower. I kind of see this as a nicer trade than ETH, so maybe if we come down and take this low here, take that low, get a bit of a swing failure going into this, into my TR extension, I'd look for a long then, to be honest. Where would I take that long? I'll probably take the first trade in this strong, probably to take out these highs here, and then I'll see how it goes from there. This could take some time to get up here if it was going to, but overall I trade down here up to this region and maybe the 0.5 of the TR extension. That might be my overall plan on this. We'll have weekly pivots coming up, and again folks, we're going to have monthly pivots coming up, and then we're going to have quarterly pivots coming up. So there's a lot of stuff coming up soon. So you have to keep an eye on it all. Again, like, we have a lot of deals going on inside in PTL at the minute. If you want to be available of all these deals, you have to sign up to our email, which is going to be in the list. I mean, it's going to be in the description down below. So sign up to that email list, you get those deals. There's very good deals going on, so make sure you go into the description at the end. and have a look at those. Right, let's go into Bitcoin, will we? We're going to Bitcoin. This cough is killing me, I tell you folks. I hate it. I had the flu and then this cough and my voice is gone. Not nice. Not nice at all. Bitcoin, so since we came up to the high, I told you the daily slings, which is this white band here, is going to be the biggest resistance you're going to get on Bitcoin. Oh, biggest resistance you're going to get in Bitcoin from this move up, and it fucking was, I tell you. So you got into that zone, into our red box, you got rejection. We took this short. Made about 7 or 8 grand on this. I think first TP1 was like 4,000 or 5,000 quid. Put it inside PTL anyway. I was updating the hell out of this in PTL. So again, if you want those updates and all that stuff, join PTL. If you want to be in those trading streams, join PTL. We'll be going in and again next week. I was sick this week. I only did one trading stream, but still profitable at the end. We did one trading on gold, one trade, and it was a trade long at the high. It was for 3,000 quid, so it was nice enough. And also I was updating on Bitcoin, and TP1 was the weekly pivots for 4,000 or 5,000 quid. Again, all the profits were shown inside, and all the updates. But what is next for Bitcoin? I know I'm looking for a new low here on Bitcoin, but I don't know about this. We'll leave the red box there. 0.5 is a big target. You know, it's an 80% target, so it's sitting right here. Overall on this, what am I looking for? I would like this to come down and bounce back up. Daily slinging is a big resistance, like, you know. It is a big resistance. I was kind of looking at this in two ways, to be fair. We have this big trend line pulling it down right now. You have the TR extension underneath the lows. You rejected off the range low. That means you could go straight down for take the low, but it's not going to go down a straight line in my opinion. Next big zone would have to be right here. It's just, I know it's messy and all that. You hit the TR pocket on this, okay. You already hit the TR pocket. It could put a higher low on that and move up. It could do that. Hit the TR extension on the log, of course. I'm going to get rid of this for now. And I'm going to get rid of this for now. And I'm going to get rid of this for now. Okay. We hit this TR pocket, so the next one up is going to be this one. This TR pocket. Log and linear. So I'm going to have to mark this one out. Log and linear. Okay. Go to 1 hour. I do like this. The blue boxes are always supply and demand on me. Ooh, I do like that. I do like that a lot. Right. Do like this. Into the back. Then this to the front. I'm gonna minimize this a bit. That's a bit distracting now. See our pocket down here. Takes out all the lows. It takes out this and this. And then it takes out that one too. Overall, like I was thinking we come down into this zone and whoa. My mouse does that every now and then. I don't know why. Now where is that? We're running 80k grand. And I was thinking we do something like this and then we go down. But with the daily slings there, it's really hard for me to say that. You know, I could just easily go like this. Daily slings again and then do this. Run the low and then do that. So I'd say I'm going to have to go with the slings because the slings are trending right now. And you can't go against the slingmans when they're trending. So overall, I'd say we do this. And then maybe lower high and then take the lows. And then we see, we'll do an update again on this from there. Maybe during the week or just for the members. yeah, that's what I think is going to happen next. Run of 80k into the TR pocket. I would like to see, is that extension? No, it's not this. Damn it. Oh, I don't have it on this, do I? Delete all these. I hate this. Just have to clean it up a little bit, you know? Let's see if that TR extension is in that zone. If I hit log, she is almost there. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that zone too. Put like this and then a bit on top of that. I'll leave it like this, to be honest. I'll leave it like that. I will keep an eye on that TR extension in case it gets hit again though. But overall, I think we're going to move up back to the daily slings and then we see from there, folks. You know, daily slings are very strong. I don't want to be going against them. I don't want to be saying we're going to go through them because they're way too strong, especially when they're trending. So next zone I'm going to be looking for is a deviation of 80,000. Run all these lows. Then be looking for a trade long. Okay. So I said at the end I will announce the winner, and the winner of the competition there last week was Peter Das KZ2JO with 86,254. You're the winner of this week's or last week's competition. So if you can contact us, please get through to us. Well done as well. And the new competition, folks, guess the price for Wednesday 6 p.m. and you'll also win the free membership. Again, trade safe, folks. Enjoy the rest of the week, and I will see you again next week, or maybe in 2 weeks, because I don't think I'll be around next week. But we'll see you again, folks. Adios.
Good luck.